In this video, we're going to talk about dividing a polynomial by a non-monomial. Before we do that, I want to review long division with numbers first. So let's take a look here. 5 does not go into 3, but 5 does go into 36 7 times. So I would take that 7 times 5, that's 35. Subtract, that's 1. Bring down the next number, which is a 1. How many times does 5 go into 11? Well, that's 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. So I would subtract, that's 1. Bring down the next number, which is a 4. How many times does 5 go into 14? That's 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, that's 4. So I can write my remainder as the remainder over the divisor. So my answer here is 722 4/5. Now, we can do something very, very similar with polynomials. If you have the denominator that has more than one term, we cannot break it down like we did in the previous video. We're going to have to do long division for this. Okay, so let's determine each quotient. So I'll put the numerator inside. I'll put my denominator on the outside. Okay, so what do I multiply this leading term by to get this leading term here? Well, that's x, because x times x is x squared. So I'm going to take x times x, that's x squared, but I'm also going to take x times a positive 5, and that is a positive 5x, and subtract. So on the side, I'll put x squared plus 7x, and I'll distribute the negative. The x squared subtract out. 7x minus 5x is 2x. I'll bring down the next term, which is positive 10. Now, what do I multiply this leading term by to get this leading term here? Well, that is a positive 2, because x times 2 is 2x. So I'm going to take 2 and multiply by x, which is 2x. And I'm going to take 2 times a positive 5. That is a positive 10. When I take a value minus the same exact value, that is 0. So here my answer is x plus 2. Now, it's easy to check. I can take my quotient and multiply by the divisor, and I should get what's inside. So that's x squared plus 5x plus 2x plus 10, which is exactly the same as x squared plus 7x plus 10, which tells me I did the long division problem correctly. Okay, let's take a look at the next example then. Because I have more than one term in the denominator, I know for now I'm going to have to do long division. So let's set this up. So again, what do I multiply this leading term by to get this leading term here? Well, that's 3x, because x times 3x is 3x squared. So 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times a negative 2 is negative 6x. And I'll subtract. So let's do this on the side. 3x squared minus x. Distribute the negative. The 3x squareds divide out. Negative x plus 6x, that's 5x. Bring down the next term, that is negative 8. Now, what do I multiply this leading term by to get this leading term here? Well, that's a positive 5. 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times a negative 2 is a negative 10. So subtract. Let's do this on the side. 5x minus 8. Distribute the negative, that's negative 5x, and that's a positive 10. 5x's subtract out. Negative 8 plus 10 is 2. So my remainder is 2. Similarly to the very beginning, I could say plus 2 over the divisor. So my answer here is 3x plus 5 plus 2 divided by x minus 2. Okay, so let's check my answer. So if I take 3x plus 5 and I multiply by x minus 2, you get 3x squared minus 6x plus 5x minus 10, which is 3x squared minus x minus 10. Now, do not forget, you also have a remainder of 2. So now I'm going to take this answer, and I'm going to add 2 because that's what my remainder is. I now have 3x squared minus x minus 8, and that's exactly the same as I have here. So I know this answer is correct. Okay, one other example I'm going to take a look at. Again, I have more than one term in the denominator, so I'm going to do long division here. Okay, so now what am I going to multiply this leading term by to get this leading term here? Well, that's going to be v squared, because 2v times v squared is 2v cubed. So take v squared times 2v, that's 2v cubed. V squared times a negative 3 is negative 3v squared. Subtract. Let's do this on the side. Distribute the negative. They subtract out. That gives me 8v squared. Bring down the next term. Now, what do I multiply this leading term by to get this leading term here? Well, that is 4v. So 4v times 2v is 8v squared. 4v times a negative 3, that is negative 12v. Okay, let's do this on the side. The 8v squareds subtract out. Negative 10v plus 12v is 2v. Bring down the next term. So now, what do I multiply this leading term by to get this leading term here? Well, that is a positive 1. So 1 times 2v is 2v. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Subtract. I'll do that on the side. Distribute the negative. The 2v subtract out. 2 plus 3 is 5. So that is what my remainder is. Because it's positive, I'll put plus 5 over the divisor. If my remainder was negative, I would put plus and then put a negative there. I will not check this answer in this video. I'll let you do that on your own.